if you have any questions, I'll be happy to tell you everything I know.
Question. I appreciate all of your comments, but especially sharing your thoughts on the heartbeat bill. I admit, as one who tries to work to see pro-life legislation pass, it's been confusing trying to follow all of that. But where is it right now? The way I understand it, it really sits in Senator Tom Niehouse's hands, whether he schedules a vote or not, in which he happens to be our state senator. Is that where it is at? Or
yes, he has said that he will. I'm glad you asked that question. He said that he will not move on the bill until after the primary. Isn't that convenient? So I think our assumption is that he wants to protect his fellow senators should they vote, against major pro-life legislation. So we're going to continue putting pressure on him. At Life Issues Institute, we have a urban black outreach project to educate the black community on how the abortion industry is targeting them, called Protecting Black Life. And Pastor Arnold Culbreth on my staff is heading up a press conference on February 7th in Columbus, where he and other black pro-life leaders, local and national, are going to be holding a press conference and putting some pressure on them and standing with those who are pushing the bill. So we really need to keep the pressure on the state senators, and Tom Niehaus is a friend of unborn babies, but we're disappointed that he hasn't just faced this and dealt with it and voted on it and moved on, because I think it's just causing unnecessary strain and division because there is an obvious difference of opinion. So let's just face it, let's vote on it, and let's get it behind us. And we're praying that it passes because there are 12 other states waiting in the wings wanting to do very similar legislation. And imagine how we can get the pro boards off their game if they're trying to justify stopping the heart of innocent unborn babies in the womb. That's just a battle that they can't win. And in Columbus, Janet Porter, who's the brain behind this, on Valentine's Day, they kind of announced the bill last year and took these beautiful red heart-shaped helium balloons and had them delivered. They took teddy bears that had a recorded heartbeat in them to the members of the Senate. We can do all kinds of really great PR stuff, positive statements about life that furthers our cause and mission through this bill. So not only is it an educational piece, it's a great PR piece for us too. So it's a long answer, but after the 6th. But keep the pressure on him because that's the gatekeeper.
do you think he will schedule a vote even after the 6th? March 6th?
I think so, but each time he delays, it causes us more concern. I think he's trying to wait us out and hope that the momentum dies. But I only see it building because there's more and more organization like the black leaders who are getting behind it.
I think I'm with you. I think, no one likes the division, but I think let's vote. Let's, up or down vote on it, see what happens and get it behind us.
Right. And I respect those. Some very dear friends that I've known for many years are on a different opinion, and I respect it. I just profoundly disagree with them. Once this battle's done, they're still my friends. We'll work together. So that's not going to change things. But yeah, we need to move on. Yes.
What's your thoughts on the personhood movement that's working here in Ohio, turning on the ballot? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, you guys are really concentrating on the controversial things. That's a good question. The personhood movement's been around for quite some time. When I worked for National Right to Life's PAC for many years, I did a lot of work in Colorado, and they've tried it repeatedly there and failed because it's easier to get on the ballot there. I was behind and supporting the one in Louisiana. If anybody could have done it, we thought they could, and it looked very good for passage up until the very end. And unfortunately, some lies and PR is what buried it. I don't think it's a terribly viable option for us at this time. I think Louisiana, if we can't do it there, that means we've got to work some more to get some more broad-based support. So personally, I would never come out against it. I would always support it. But personally, I'd like to see us put our resources and efforts into something that is more viable, especially electing a pro-life president, getting more legislation passed, educating more people. I'd like to see where that is, but I would never oppose it. Yes?
Yeah, you kind of touched on what I was going to ask. President Obama, one of the first things he signed in had to do with abortion. Do you remember that? Can you expound on that a little bit about what that abortion measure was that he signed? And it was right when he first got elected.
Yeah, well, as a poke in the eye, when we were in Washington marching, he was signing an executive order, I believe it was Mexico City policy, that would release a lot of funding for international organizations that promote and provide abortion. He has done so many, it's hard to keep track. Barack Obama is the most pro-abortion president we've seen in the history of our nation. And if he's reelected, it's only going to get worse. Personnel is policy. He's put in some horrific people. A lot of them literally are former NARAL and Planned Parenthood leaders and employees. HHS, Department of Health and Human Services, is filled by former Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius. Now, as a governor, she is a hardcore loyalist to the abortion industry. She was in political bed with George Tiller, the late-term abortionist. She held secret fundraising events in her governor's mansion for him. She, under Obamacare, is empowered with the decision to determine what is preventative health care. Now, last week while we were in Washington, as if to stab us in the back, they came down with their final conclusion on the conscience protections for churches and hospitals and things, religious institutions that don't want to be part of abortion. Well, they basically slapped everybody down and said, no, you're going to provide, in this case, it's mostly contraception, but some of those contraceptions are abortifacients. And they're saying, no, you will do this, and we're going to give you a year to get used to it and to adapt to this edict. There's no exception. And I was very encouraged this morning to read in the paper by Archbishop Schnurr, who said, we cannot, we will not obey this. And that's the message in a letter that he's sending out to all of his parishes throughout the diocese, and that other bishops are doing throughout the nation this weekend.
We have the same